Hello and welcome. You're watching the Tov Jewish News Channel. My name is Michael Vילנסקי, and my guest today is Yonathan Sorochkin, a research fellow at the Kohelet Forum. Yonathan, great to have you.
Great being here.
Yonathan, I want to ask you about Israel's credit rating. We all saw it was lowered by Moody's. It was lowered from an A1 rating, the best rating there is, to an A2 rating, which is lower. And, people are saying different things about it. Some people say it's a disaster for Israel's economy, which was known to be very strong before the Gaza war. Some people say it doesn't mean anything and that Israel can withstand it with no problem and we won't see any effects on the Israeli economy. I want to ask you, as an expert, what does it mean for the Israeli economy?
First of all, our rating of A1 wasn't the best rating. It's a good rating. It's the third rating, but yes, the lowering of the rating itself is an effect of something, and we need to look at the cause of what's happening. It's like a kid coming home with a bad grade, and the question isn't why the grade is bad, is what you did to deserve this grade. And we have to take this opportunity to understand what we can change in our economy to get a better grade, and maybe there are things we cannot change. A main part of the grade lowering is because of the war in Gaza and the possibility of a war with Hezbollah in the north. Those are things we cannot change economically. We cannot spend money to avoid war. We need, if war is necessary and we need to defend ourselves, so be it. But on the other hand, we have things that we should have done before and we need to do now in economic reforms that we need to do in order to get our grades up again.
And how would you really describe Israel's economic policy during the war? Was it effective? Is it a good policy? Did it do what it can to prevent such things from happening as the credit rating of Israel being lowered? Or
I think there
yeah, please
yes,
continue.
we just started, the Knesset just started passing the 2024 budget, and there is a lot that we could have done. Okay, the situation isn't great. There are a lot of reforms we should have put into the budget that would have helped a lot. I don't know if it would have meant that we would have stayed in the same credit rating, but it would help a lot to our economy. For example, there are a lot of tax credits. Our tax credits in Israel are higher than our military budget, for example. We have some budgetary pensions we should have dealt with. We have a lot of reforms in the ease of doing business that we could have done. We have labor law reforms. We have educational reforms that should have happened. If all of these things would have happened, we would enter the next year with far greater prospect for a better economy.
Yonathan, I want to ask you, is it possible for a country in war not to be hurt economically? Is it anything that happened? So let me rephrase that question. Would it possible for Israel go through the Gaza war without having its credit rating lowered?
Maybe. I don't know. Wars cost a lot of money. But the thing is that we need to separate things we can control and things we cannot control. We cannot control the war. Okay, we were surprised by an enemy and we need to fight and we need to defeat them. And this costs money. And this, of course, affects the credit rating. But there are a lot of things we could have done and should have done and we must do now in order to make our economy better. Those two things are separate. And we haven't done a very good deal in preparing this new budget and making sure that necessary reforms do happen.
Yonathan, we hear now many voices here in Israel of people saying that Moody's decision to lower the credit rating of Israel is entirely political, that there is no actual content to that decision, that it doesn't say anything about the Israeli economy. It's basically like a punishment for Israel because Moody's don't like Israel as their economy, as you all know. They're their company, right? Do you agree with that?
No. I don't think Moody showed any bias towards Israel. It gave us an excellent rating in the past 15 or 20 years. Okay, there's no sign of that. Now, politicians that have to face low ratings always say that the rating bureaus are biased and they show those bureaus mistakes, and this of course is true. I remember President Obama, like 14 years ago, said that Moody's or S&P, they don't understand the market and their decisions are political. Yes, but there's no evidence to it. We need to make our economy better. Saying that Moody's are I don't know, don't like us, it's not an excuse.
Yonathan, going into the future, so Israel is now facing not only a war with Gaza, but after this war, there will be apparently a war with Hezbollah in Lebanon, and that's, at the minimal prediction. Going into the future, what can you say will happen to the Israeli economy? Will we get hurt even more?
Yes, if there will be a war, we will get hurt. This is obvious. We will need to spend a lot of money on the war. And it's okay, we need to defend ourselves. We need to make war with our enemies. And we need to destroy and defeat them. But it has nothing to do with necessary reforms in the economy. It will cost us money. It will cost us lives. Okay, but it is not an excuse.
As an expert in economy, I want to also ask an additional question. There are many people say that, all right, our economy here in Israel will be hurt because of the war, but actually, in a long-term prospect, war is an engine for economy. That war helps us develop our economy because we finance our local industries here in Israel. Many money gets allocated to the people. Do you agree with that statement, or is war actually bad for economy from all different points of view?
There are 2 points of looking at it, on it. On the one hand, wars, especially the Second World War, sprung up innovation. It gave a lot of good tools to a lot of young men, and they could use their war experience and war innovation to help the U.S. economy grow. On the other hand, we see countries that were devastated by war, like Germany, that had a higher growth period after its war. So, the cost of war is very high. It's usually higher than what we expect to gain from the war economically. What in the end, what drives the economy forward is innovation, and this is what we need to focus on.
Yonathan, thank you very much for sharing your expertise with us. We have to finish our interview because we're out of time. Great to have you. Thank you also to all of our viewers that saw this interview. Please don't forget to subscribe to us on all of our social media platforms. Thank you again. Have a great day.